What's going on, friends? My name is Chris, down here in the Seacrest studio, B-Boy 45, Children's Hospital, Colorado. It is a fantastic Friday, not only for us here in the studio, but for my friend Maya, who I believe is on the line. Maya, are you still there?
Yeah, hi.
Yeah, hi. It's fantastic today, isn't it?
Yes.
Because who do you get to talk to today?
Hugh Grant.
We've got Hugh Grant on the line for Maya's show. Hugh, thank you. Maya, take it away, girl.
So first of all, I just want to say thank you so much for calling in. You have been a dream interview of mine for the longest time, and you are actually my 296th interview.
Okay, great. And well, it's a pleasure to do it. And it's very nice to meet you.
Thank you. So my first question for you is, how did you discover your love of acting?
Well, let's see. I suppose I was always messing about when I was a kid, just doing silly voices, doing imitations of my teachers, my aunts and uncles, Prince Charles, who's now the king, just making people laugh, really. I suppose that was it.
Oh, cool. So you have had a long and varied career, and you've been in period pieces, romantic comedies, dramas, thrillers, and Paddington 2, which I felt that deserves its own category. I've loved everything that you've been in, and your work has provided just so much comfort and escape for me over the years. So I just wanted to say thank you for that.
That's very nice. Thank you. That cheers me up.
Of all the projects you've been in, has there been one that was the most memorable to film?
Well, let's think now. Well, maybe the first thing I ever filmed was a TV movie about the South Pole. And I'd never been in front of a camera before, and the whole thing was really terrifying. And the first shot I ever had to shoot was me steering a dog sled out across the sea ice. Well, actually, I was meant to be steering it towards some tents. And they taught me how to speak to these dogs in the local language, the Inuit language, how to command them. And then they said, okay, ready, action. And I shouted at these dogs, and they turned round and went 180 degrees the wrong direction, way out to sea, with me screaming behind them. And I had to be rescued by policemen on skidoos. That was my introduction to filming. And it never really got easier.
Of all the characters that you've played, is there one that you have related to the most?
Well, I suppose you could say I'm a bit like the guy in Paddington 2. This vain old narcissistic actor. There's a lot of me in that. I think that's why it came out quite well.
What role has been the most challenging?
Most challenging. Well, did you see that scary thriller for HBO I did with Nicole Kidman called The Undoing?
Yeah.
That was difficult. That was difficult, especially the last episode when I'm kind of going crazy and taking my little boy for a ride in the car, but going crazy at the same time. And he's just discovered that I'm a very, very, very bad man. That was difficult. I dreaded doing that scene.
Well, yeah, I love that show, and every episode I watched, like I could feel my heart rate going up.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, good. I'm glad. I'm glad. Some people said it was a disappointing ending, but I hope not. Anyway, it was really well made, and Nicole's great, so I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really liked the ending.
Oh, good, good.
Yeah,
Do you do any acting yourself, Maya?
I don't.
Never? You never in school plays or anything like that?
No, I took an acting class once in high school and I couldn't remember any lines. So I was like, I don't think this is really for me.
Yeah. Well, lots of top actors don't memorize their lines anymore. They've got a little thing in their ear and someone whispering their lines into their ear.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Top actors do that. A lot of them. Weird, isn't it? I couldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I never knew that. That's interesting.
Yeah, and before they had the technology to put this little bug in your ear, they actors like Marlon Brando, he could never remember his lines, or he couldn't be bothered to learn them towards the end of his career. So he used to have them pasted up on little notes all around the set, including sometimes he'd stick them on the other actor's forehead and then he'd just read them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So is there a movie or show that you always wish you had been in?
Well, I love musicals. I don't think I've done enough musicals, probably because I don't sing that well. But I like singing and dancing. The bit at the end of Paddington 2 when I'm dancing down the stairs in the prison, I really enjoyed it. I wish I'd done more of that in my career.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I love musicals, and I wish life was like a musical where you could just break out into song.
Yes, I couldn't agree with you more. In my old age now, I find that if there's catchy music on in a cafe or something, I just dance. I don't care. My children beg me to stop. I think we all need to do more dancing.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes, well, like my family and I will be in a store and a song I really like comes on and I'm just standing there singing it and I'm like, okay, I forgot there were people around, so.
Yeah, well, who cares?
Yeah. So who would play you in the movie of your life, and what would the movie be called?
Well, I know that Colin Firth has always wanted to play me. He wants to be me, really. So we'd have to give him the part. Well, what would we call the film? Oh, I don't know. Decline and Fall, I think we'd call it.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah. Is there a line from a movie, book, show, or song that has always stuck with you and inspired you?
Yes, there's a few. There's an old. I think it's black and white. Actually, it's a black and white film made during the Second World War. Stars David Niven, and it was a propaganda film. It was made especially to keep up the spirits of the British people and the British soldiers during the Second World War. And in this film, David Niven is the commander of some soldiers, and they're about to go into this big fight, and they're very gloomy and sad. And then he says, to cheer them up, he says to one of his men, he says, "Saunders, have you still got that squeeze box of yours?" Which is like an accordion, one of those musical things. Saunders says, "Well, yes, sir, I have." And then David Niven says, "Well, then, for God's sake, play it, and the rest of you sing." And he starts playing, and they all sing along this song, Lily of Laguna. And it's very moving. And I always try and keep my family's spirits up with, "Saunders, have you got that squeeze box of yours? Well, then, for God's sake, play it, and the rest of you sing." It always works.
Oh, cool. Love that. So movies and shows are an escape for me, and I often watch them over and over again when I just need to be comforted. And many of your movies are on that list. Music and Lyrics, Paddington 2, and About a Boy. Is there a movie or show that is a go-to for you when you want to escape or be comforted?
Well, I love The Sound of Music. I always have done. And I watch that film a lot. You like The Sound of Music? Or do you find it too sugary?
I've only seen it once, and that was a long time ago.
Oh, okay. Well, some people find it too sentimental and sweet. Even Christopher Plummer, who stars in it, apparently he always called it The Sound of Mucus instead of The Sound of Music, because but I love it. I love it. I love the songs. I love the story. That always cheers me up. What else? Goodfellas cheers me up because it's just so brilliant.
Cool. Yeah, I've never seen that movie, but I've heard a lot about it.
Yeah, well, you need to see it.
Yeah.
But not the kids in the hospital. It's too grown up. What's another kid film I really love? I love Finding Nemo. That's a great film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is. Yeah. Like I said, I usually just watch like the same things just again and again because it's
right.
Just,
I know what you mean. It is comforting.
Yeah. And I recently learned that that's something people people with anxiety do, and
is that right?
Just watch the same things again and again because you already know what happens.
Right.
So there's no surprises.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that makes sense why I watch things again and again then.
Yeah, sure. I get that. I get
it.
Yeah. But do you watch movies at home, or do you go to the theater and watch them?
Yeah. Usually I watch them at home. There's a couple times I go to the theater, but I don't know. That gives me a lot of anxiety. So usually I just go for watching them at home.
Oh, okay.
But
you get anxious when you get outside?
Certain places. Yeah.
Is that called agoraphobia?
That's when you can't go outside at all.
Uh-huh.
But yeah. Okay. So I can leave the house, but there are certain places that I kind of want to avoid.
Right.
So but the last time I went to the theater was actually to see your movie Dungeons and Dragons. So
Oh, you were?
yeah, I
Okay,
went
cool.
with my mom and my sister.
Great.
And,
Great.
yeah.
Did you like it? Say yes.
Yes.
That's correct answer.
Yeah, we loved it.
Good.
Yeah. Um, so, what was the best piece of advice you got when you were just starting out?
Well, the best piece of advice I got about acting, there was this Scottish theatre director I did a play with, and he always used to say, Hugh, take it off the face, take it off the face, just think it. And he was absolutely right. That is the key to good film acting. And at my worst, all I do is make faces. When I'm a bit better, it's just thinking thoughts. Yeah. He was very good, that guy. He said, don't nest, never nest. And nesting is when an actor's getting ready, rehearsing, and you sort of fall in love with a way of saying a line or doing a bit of the script, and you never change it because you love it so much. And it's always boring when it's finally presented to an audience if you do that. You're supposed to try and make everything absolutely new and fresh as it happens. And then the camera likes it and the audience likes it. So those were two very good bits of advice, I reckon.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Yeah.
The other one, I tell you another good piece of advice was never do anything just for the money.
Oh, yeah.
A few times in my life, I think I have, and I've always regretted it. You always need to really love the thing you're doing.
Yeah.
Or admire it or think it's important. Yeah, don't sell out.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a good piece of advice.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. So my final question for you is, who do you consider to be a real life superhero and why?
God, I haven't got a good answer for you. There was some amazing guy a few years ago here in London. Someone tried to set off a bomb, and he was attacking people in the street. And this cool guy who was he was a street trader. He was selling, I think he was selling fruit and vegetables in a store. He just went straight up to this guy who was wearing a bomb belt and just whacked him. In fact, he whacked him with, he grabbed this thing out of a restaurant nearby, which was the tusk from a narwhal. Those fish with a great long sword.
Oh, yeah.
He whacked this guy with that. I call that pretty superhero-ish. Very brave.
Oh, that is, yeah. Wow.
I think he saved a lot of people's lives that way. So that was cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. I never heard that. So, yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I'm like stuttering over my words. Just I cannot believe I'm talking to you. So,
Sure.
Thank you so much for calling in. That was my final question, but
Okay.
thank you so much.
Well, it was a real pleasure, and good luck with your YouTube channel and everything.
Thank you.